Hello everybody, this is Sherry with Palette to Palette, and today I am going to go over, well, not really go over, we're just going to paint. And I'm posting this as a chat session, so if you want to come on and chat with me, then let's do that while I'm painting one of our projects from our February file bundle. And I am gonna paint this kind of farmhousey, so I'm doing an off-white background, and I'm gonna do dark brown, which I'm gonna use burnt umber for the frame and the letters. Okay, so I'm only using two colors in all of this, and hopefully it'll turn out the way I want it to. I always say hopefully, but I don't mean that, because it will. Let me line this up a little bit better. So I put all of my letters on painter's tape that I flipped upside down because it's easier for me to dab on with a makeup sponge like this. And then, yeah, the shadowing is really bothering me today. I don't know why there's such a big shadow. Sorry about that. But I'm going to wipe on the burnt umber on this part of the frame so it looks like stain. I'm going to wipe that on with a baby wipe. And then I'm going to do the background in this off-white color. If I don't know if this paint is any good, I might use this one. So let me shake these up. Why is it so shadowy? Hold on, I gotta open a curtain so it's not so shadowy in here. Let's see if it helps. Okay. All right. Here we go. So I'm just going to pour a little bit on my, oh, here's a tip. I got this Glad press and seal. Okay. So it's sticking right onto my table, and it's protecting it from the paint. And when this acrylic paint dries onto it, it wipes right off. So this is the second time I'm using this. Actually, 1, 2, 3, fourth time actually that I'm using this press and seal, and it looks like I just put it down. So I'm just gonna baby wipe this. Like I said, it's burnt umber, and it's just it's an apple barrel. Yeah, apple barrel from Walmart. But this press and seal is working really well to keep my desk from getting any paint on it. Now, I want to go the same way with the wood grain as the wood grain's going on here, because it looks different if you swipe it the other way. If you're saying anything, I'm not seeing the comments, so I apologize. Turn my notification sound up so that I can hear it if anything comes through. And if you're watching, just say hi, Come hang out. Even if you've only got a minute. So I think that's pretty good for the frame. That's the look I was going for. And I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to bring this over, even though I'm not quite ready for it yet. I'm going to get a makeup sponge out for the letters. I'm going to put a little bit more paint down here for them. And I'm just going to dab those. And I'm just getting the tops of the wood. The sides of the wood are already this brown color because of the burn that the laser leaves behind, right? So if you have a laser, tell me what kind you have. If you don't have a laser, tell me what kind you're researching if you're thinking about getting one. If you're not thinking about getting a laser and you don't have a laser, would you want me to start selling some of these cutouts as kits? Just gotta let me know these things so I know what to do. So I'm just dabbing all these letters, getting them that same brown color that I did the stain around the frame. And then I'm going to show you another trick for lining up your letters. I only have to line them up once, so I can envision myself lining them all up on the background, right? And then taking them off one by one and gluing them, putting glue on the back, sticking it back on the board. I can envision myself doing that, but I actually have a little bit of a faster way. So while these are drying, I'm going to wipe that up. See how easy that Glad Press and Seal just cleans that right up? Whatever that is underneath, I think. Yeah. So I'm going to put that back down. It's actually a damp spot underneath that's coming up like that. Looks like there's paint right there. And then let me toss these out, because now we're going to do a whitewash kind of with the cream color or off-white color. Oops, I'm not using that one, I'm using this one. Ooh. Well, some of this paint has, on the lid, decided to solidify a little bit. So I got a little messy. Okay, let's see. I'm just going to dip that in. And that's probably all I will need for this whole thing. We shall see. So again, it's just a wadded up baby wipe. And it's going to dry pretty quick. I exceeded the line of my press and seal a little bit, but it should wipe off the desk pretty easy too. Need a little bit more. thin it out so it's the same thickness as the rest of the board. And that's pretty much how I want it. So it's got that color to it now, and you can still see wood grain through it. All right, let me get some of this paint off my hands because that does get messy. Sometimes I wear gloves, sometimes I don't. But I don't pay for those fancy manicures, so sometimes this is my manicure. And sometimes I get paint everywhere. Multi-use for the baby wipe, right? Paint with it, clean with it. I've got brown paint on me too. Okay, we are going to lay the letters out, and then that's where the painter's tape comes in again. Excuse me. So I'm going to lay the letters out on this as soon as it's dry. It dries pretty quick, so I'm just, still feels cold to the touch, so. All right, so I think that's good. So I'm going to start laying these out the way that I think they're going to go on here. I'll straighten everything out after I get them all on there. Make sure it's centered top and bottom, left and right. I'm not going uphill. See, I already know I started too far over. So I'm not going to have the same amount of room left over here. Steal my heart. Not my covers. I just love that for a bedroom. And since this is the February file bundle, I just thought that the Steal My Heart part was appropriate for February, for Valentine's Day. Okay, I started going uphill, I can see. So let's put this, remove these. We'll use those again in a moment. I'll get this down more so I can look head on a little bit. I want to move all of this over a little bit. Now I'm looking at my screen to see if I think that looks right. Let me know if you think I need to fix anything. I think that looks good. Yeah, I think I'm okay with that. Maybe the O. this down. Okay, so now got that first line placed where I want it. I'm going to put this tape down on it. Press the tape down onto all of the letters. And then I'm going to lift it up and flop it over to put the glue on. And then I'm going to take another piece and do the same thing with this line of text. And flip that over. And now I'm just going to move that up there for a minute while I get glue on all of these. Where's my glue? Okay, so this is just Gorilla wood glue that I'm using for this project. And I can do it in one of two ways, and I think because it's all letters and they're small, I think it would be easier for me to pour out a glob just like I do paint and dab it on the back as soon as this decides it wants to come out. No? Well, it does not look clogged, and I used it yesterday, so what's going on? Where's my backup? And here's my backup. Does this work? This is pretty thick. Wow. It's glue. Nope. Can't use the backup glue. Alright, let's do it this way. Now I'm definitely going to have to change this because I put glue on it. I didn't think about that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is dab the glue just like it was paint and put it on the back of the letters. And then your letters are still all spaced straight and the distance apart that you wanted them to be. And now I just have to make sure that they, the only thing you have to worry about is exactly where you're placing it down. On did I get it all on there? Wasn't sure I did the M. And the wood glue gets pretty sticky, so they should, I mean, in the matter of like 10 to 15 seconds after you put it on there, it should stick enough that you can take the tape back off. You just want to go slow. You don't want to rip it off like a band-aid. And that should be good. You can tell that you covered that area because it's got a little bit of glare to it. All right, so we're going to get this back down here. I'm actually going to put that up there for a second so I can move this closer without getting it in the glue. Okay, so this is the Steal My Heart. Okay, and now I can definitely eyeball left to right, and that looks good. And now I'm going to put the, not my covers. Give that glue a few seconds to get sticky on there. I don't know what was wrong with that wood glue. That needs to go in the garbage. So my backup glue is no good. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of that. I think I'm just going to cut that corner off so I can still use this. But see how easy it cleans up so that I can use it again? Whoops, get back over there. Works pretty good. Sometimes I do use foil, because then after you use a section of it, you can fold it over and then use this side. And then after that gets dry, you can fold it over and use that side. You can flip it over and use the other side. So, I mean, there's a lot of, sometimes you use paper plates and throw them away. So there are lots of things. I don't even have scissors. Let's get rid of the glue on here. There we go. All right. And then I've got to figure out what's going on with my other wood glue. But I need to get more glue out so I can do the frame. Nope, there wasn't enough glue on the L. All right, let me get more glue. All right, so I just must not have had enough glue on the L, but I do now, and I think the N didn't stick either. Yeah, didn't have enough glue on this. So let me do this. Let's stick that back down. But I think this is a lot easier than trying to line each one of them up with the glue on it. Okay, so there's that. Slide it up a tad so that I can put glue on the frame. Now this would be easier if my my wood glue worked, but for some reason it's not coming out the nozzle. So I'm going to have to work on that when I get off of the computer. I hope it's not drying as quick as I'm putting it on. Oh, there's a couple. Okay. When you've got a larger area to cover like that, you don't want to put it on as thin as I did with the makeup sponge, because it dries before you can. Okay, so here we go. I am going to put now regular clothespins. Work great for one layer of 1/8 inch and 1/4 inch. So they would work okay for a couple layers of 1/8 inch. But I've got these 2 layered pieces on here, and they open up just fine and close down tight enough to make sure that it stays. So I use these as my clamps, because a package of 100 of these is cheaper than a package of 100 clamps, which I don't even think you can buy 100 clamps in a package. All right. So we're going to let that dry with the little clamps on it. And there you have it. That's the Steal My Heart, Not My Covers, painted, and a couple easy ways, or an easy way to put the letters on the board. And looks pretty good. So thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.